This video is presented in a way heavily inspired by PGRU Version 3.
With this year's season coming to an end, we at Ranked-Up Esports, as well as the Smash team, would like to thank you all personally for your competitive vigor this season. Moving forward, the Apocalypse series strives to do great things. First and foremost, to provide a place not just at Austin Peay, but in the Clarksville community to have a place to display their strength. With this season, the standardization of events has made a lot of things possible. We thank all those involved and thank you specifically to our amazing TO staff, Archangel, who provided a buttload of artistic talent to this video and throughout the year as a whole, and Spore, who crunched the numbers from all the statistics spread throughout the video and throughout this season. A notable achievement as well is this season, the results are more concrete than ever with stats, game data, and game records being easily accessible to all players. For this ranking, we include everyone who has made an appearance in an Apocalypse tournament. Thus, this list also included those who have made trips from other regions such as Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Nashville, Tennessee. The time period includes events from September 2nd, 2022 to April 28th, 2023, a period beginning with Apocalypse number 1 and ending with Apocalypse number 15. Now, we on the Austin Peay State University Smash team would like to present the top 25 players for the Austin Peay Ranking for Smash Ultimate.
First, we start with our Rising 30. These 5 players just missed the top 25, sometimes by a mere point or two. We expect with more experiences come better results for these players, but they deserve congratulations on a job well done for achieving this ranking.
You can see gameplay and matches of these players in Apocalypse Tournament playlist in the description below. Now, on to the top 25.
Because BJ has some tricks. I've gotten hit with a lot of them. Wow, no!
For more information on the players ranked 11 through 25, head on over to the respective PG stats page, which will be listed in the second section of the description along with gameplay and matches for these players in Apocalypse Tournament playlist. Without further ado, your Austin Peay Apocalypse Season 1 Top 10. The number 10 spot goes to Sensei Zensei. Previously ranked at slot number 5 during last year's Season 0, Sensei Zensei started the season off with a banging placing of 4th place with their Apocalypse number 1 run. With a bit of a break during the mid-season period, not attending Apocalypse 3-5, Sensei Zensei clawed their way back into their spot into the top 10. They're overwhelmingly neutral, whether it be their combo heavy and elusive Joker, or a variety of pockets from Warrior, Palutena, and Lucina. You know you're in for a hard time if you see them in your bracket guide. Sensei Zensei successfully gatekeeps a lot of players' highs, only being beaten by a player ranked lower than them twice, which occurred during their Apocalypse 7 run, being knocked out by CyberX, and their Apocalypse 9 All-Star performance being knocked out by Squid Ink. The opposite is true as well, only having few notable wins on higher ranked players such as Archangel, Spore, and Olympus. Truest competitor, however, is CyberStone, knocking them out into losers in 4 of their 10 tournaments. It is possible to overcome this, which is evidence shown in the Season 0 days. Sensei Zensei currently for next season is possibly considered retirement in favor of Melee, but one thing is for sure is the potential to be great in both. The number 9 slot goes to Wookten. Our first newcomer as well as solo main into the top 10, we have the Pac-Man main with projectiles to overcome any obstacle. Wookten had a very impressive season this year with their debut tournament being a 5th place finish during Apocalypse number 3. His mid-season was a bit rocky, although solid with 4 tournament appearances. The highlight of his placing during the season being the first round-robin tournament of the Apocalypse series. That would be Apocalypse number 5, in which they finished 1st place. They demolished the competition with a dominant 8-1 record that day, heavily outplacing their seed of 6 with an SPR of +4. With a solidly viable main, Wookten has stacked a large list of top Apocalypse victories, the biggest win going on top players such as Archangel, Super Jarryd, and Spore. That last one was especially essential, beating Spore 2-1 fashion to achieve their second highest placing, being 4th place at Apocalypse 12. With more tournaments and more time, this list of wins is going to be a lot longer, as well as its placements. With next season on the horizon, players better beware the barrel of the gun that is a belt to the face and a smash attack to match. The number 8 slot goes to Adagio. With newcomers back-to-back, Adagio started the season with a series of 2-2 placements, which netted them a consistent placement before the season really started to kick into high gear with Apocalypse number 4. The best bracket run was a result of the first round-robin placing 4th. The most interesting thing, however, is that with Apocalypse as a whole, Adagio has a couple unique properties. The first being that Adagio has a striking tendency to shut out opponents, but they're either 2-0ing them or 3-0ing them, rather than going to multiple games, with 15 out of their 21 games in the beginning being that of shutouts. The second is learning matchups, with some of the highest ranked players having at least one dominant loss to the Kupiling commander. This has netted Adagio a laundry list of wins against top players such as Spore and Archangel. Looking to Season 2 for Apocalypse, with more consistency and the honing of a commonplace matchups, Adagio will rise in the ranks very fast. The number 7 slot goes to Super Jarryd. The last newcomer on this list for a while, Super Jarryd was able to rise in the rankings, all with the most questionable character of all, King DDD. Let that sink in as you hear the level of mastery this player has over the projectile-wielding, hammer-toting supervillain. Super Jarryd started a little rocky like most, slightly missing top 8, but once it was cracked in Apocalypse number 4, it realistically didn't break until Apocalypse number 14. It is truly a testament to the layer of skill, with this being the 3rd ranked character according to the official Smash Ultimate tier list. No other tournament shows this more than Apocalypse number 9 in that bracket run. While just a standard 2nd place to the outside perspective, it included 2 important wins for 2 different reasons. One in-game and one out-of-game, the one in-game being a win against Zero Suit Samus main Squid Ink, a commonly -2 place matchup. The second one was a win against Archangel, a Pyro Myther main, who up to this point had 4 consecutive set wins for Apocalypse number 5 to number 8. This ranking is most definitely going to improve in the next season, with the main downfall of results coming from Apocalypse meta saturation of fast nimble characters being -2 matchups. Maybe a 2-armed DLC is just the answer that is needed. The number 6 slot goes to CyberStone. This player starts a trend of these next 4 players staying grouped together during the majority of the ranking period. Once known as Dark Aura, CyberStone was a clear favorite to take the 1st place spot as the number 1 ranked player from Season 0. It was looking that way at the very beginning, with a 5-0 set record to start the season off right with 1st place. Consistently, CyberStone was placed in the top 3, but there was a deeper story when looking at the results. Post-Apocalypse number 1 until mid-season, CyberStone was consistently there to challenge for the throne and keep winning. The household item hero, whether it was Villager or Steve, had however found a crocodile near the house. MP Royalty had constantly eliminated CyberStone in 4 of the 7 Apocalypse tournaments. That doesn't mean these placements were bad, that just there was a consistent threat, with CyberStone's lowest placement being 5th. CyberStone took a few liberties with attendance after midseason, but cemented themselves in the top 6 by results and sheer lack of losses. Only 4 players have a set win against CyberStone, with only one of those players being ranked lower than them, in Byeol. Will CyberStone return for Season 2 is anyone's best guess, but one thing is for sure is that the results will make them a terror if they do.
The number 5 slot goes to Olympus. The 3rd place finisher of Season 0, Apocalypse's own Olympus grabs the top 5 slot with their trusty sword characters. 5th place marks a significant separation point, as both 6th and 4th are both at least 10 points apart. As the Titan of Spacing, Olympus holds the title of best in the rankings with the sword characters in general, though there are 2 more above. Of all the sword characters, the Ike and Sephiroth hold their weight, with solo Ike being able to tear through the brackets. The best placement is a 2nd place finish at Apocalypse number 1. The growth of this player is consistent, but the biggest thing is the meta that the swords have to navigate. Whether it is the faster frame data or the overwhelming invincibility that Steve and Armor bring, the bracket struggles. The best showcase of this is the record against CyberStone, being 0-7 in CyberStone's favor of winning 7 times. But with the other characters and even players, there isn't a lot that can phase Olympus. For Apocalypse number 2, big things are expected with a possible Apocalypse win in the future if a couple of matchups can be tightened up.
They're in the bracket. Pac-Man's gonna have to work hard for this one. Oh my goodness!
The number 4 slot goes to Archangel. The Queen of Neutral takes the 4th place with a slew of consistent results across the board. In the Apocalypse season, Archangel never placed lower than 13th, with those 2 outliers being Apocalypse 7 and Apocalypse 15, both tournaments with over 25 entries. Other than those tournaments, Archangel has never placed below 5th place. With this consistency, that doesn't mean, however, there aren't pinks. Archangel's best bracket run happens to be during Apocalypse number 10. Although Apocalypse number 5 and 8 had more wins due to the round-robin nature of the tournaments, Apocalypse number 10 truly cemented Archangel's prowess as a top competitor. A 2-0 against Kings UK and Adagio put Archangel against Super Jarryd for the guaranteed 3rd place. What transpired was the greatest pop-off in Apocalypse history, but also a masterclass of character selection. The starting Robin pick secured the early win for the tried and true Aegis to win. The only thing I'm looking forward to in the Apocalypse season number 2 is a lot of fast-paced matches, a possible Apocalypse win, and more sets between the 2 stance characters.
The number 3 slot goes to Spore. Previously ranked number 2, Spore looked to win with his trusty PT. The Pokemon trainer main didn't actually start out this way, being the only player in the top 10 to have a complete main switch. Spore started the season as Delay, a Lucario main with a variety of secondaries. This changed between Apocalypse number 1 and 2, with Pokemon trainer taking the spotlight. A variety of secondaries still stayed, but one was a cut above all the rest, his Season 0 main, Pit. These combination of characters brought their best Apocalypse run in Apocalypse number 12. It started off not so great, losing round 1 to Wooktent 2-1. This would lead to the loser's run of their life, only going game 4 with the run back against Wooktent, using a combination of Pokemon Trainer and Pit. Those wins to get those points include wins against Archangel, Nutboy, Adagio, and Olympus. The Pokemon Trainer main looks to next season for an Apocalypse win, and to crack the top 2 with only a game win against each of them. The number 2 slot goes to NP Royalty. NP Royalty made the highest jump from Season 0 rankings, going from ranking 6th to ranking 2nd against all odds. What happened during the offseason is a mystery, but one thing is for certain. The King K. Rool came back with a vengeance with their first 2 appearances, Apocalypse number 2 and 3, without dropping a set. The thing is that NP Royalty is a titan against all players ranked lower who consistently appear at Apocalypse tournaments. Just taking players ranked number 3 through 5, NP Royalty sports a 4-0 record against Olympus, a 6-0 record against Spore, and a 3-0 record against Archangel. These were just with solo King K. Rool, not even accounting for the Sephiroth, which plays very differently than that of Olympus. The thing that is necessary for going for the top spot has to be the post-season grind. While pre-mid-season was dominated by both CyberStone and NP Royalty, the post-mid-season is another story. That era is dominated by a familiar beast, but one controlled by an entirely different player.
The number 1 slot goes to Okami. Okami broke all statistical metrics when it comes to the evaluation of Apocalypse players. Not in the bad sense, but in the lowest placement is a 3rd place finish in the biggest Apocalypse tournament in history. The Steve and Piranha Plant main has taken tournaments by storm, especially in the post-midseason era. Apocalypse number 7 gave out his only 2 set losses in losing to Pajarito in Game 5 fashion. He would also go on to lose to Ardeo in the loser bracket. His other set losses were to MP Royalty, which during the round robin of Apocalypse number 8 resulted in 2nd place with no other set losses. Other than those very specific circumstances, Okami has a near perfect record to step on. With only having a losing set record to one player, being Ardeo, Okami is set fantastically for Season 2. Will there be more reliance on the Piranha Plant in the event of a possible Steve ban? One last record being Okami will go down in history as the first unranked player to place number 1 in the Apocalypse overall scene.
Okami is number 10 champion! My lord!
Thank you to all that ranked this season and all that played. Look out for Apocalypse Season 2 after the summer break and be vigilant for other tournaments as well. Thank you once again to players, staff, viewers, and lastly, the community.
This is Spore,
And this is Archangel, your TO staff, signing out.